What is up, awesome tubers? It's your boy David Awesome, and I'm back again today with an interesting topic, another very interesting 10 video for you. Today we're going to be talking about 10 widely believed US government conspiracy theories. So let's start this countdown, and before we begin the countdown, I just want to say I'm getting all this information off of howstuffworks.com, and this is my first time reading through it, so let's learn together, awesome tubers. And if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, so here we go. 10 widely believed US government conspiracy theories. Number 10, there was an advance notice about the 9/11 events. Which, awesome tubers, I somewhat kind of believe this. A lot of people would probably call it hooey, but relatives of the victims of the 9/11 attacks leave flowers, toys, and photos. Oh, that's nice. There's a picture of that. Let's see here. Let's go to read more. September 11, 2001 was a life-changing day, even for people who were nowhere near the airline attacks that brought down the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center and killed nearly 2,800 men and women. And awesome tubers, I was in the 3rd grade when this happened, 3rd or 4th grade. And I couldn't believe it when I was a kid either. The terror spread as the Pentagon was hit by another plane, and news broke that passengers and crew on 4th United Flight 93 overtook hijackers and caused the plane to crash into a field, rather than at its intended target. So there would have been another plane that would have hit if it wasn't for their heroic actions. However, some theorists believe that the US government had advance warning of the attacks, but let them happen anyway. Others claim that the government actually engineered the attacks and that Al-Qaeda wasn't even involved. In fact, some insist that the government created the plot in an attempt to frame Muslims for terrorist activity to promote going to war in the Middle East. Alright, awesome tubers, at number 9, we have alien experiments occurred at Area 51. I have talked about this in previous videos, awesome tubers. Located about 150 miles from Las Vegas, Area 51 is an ultra-secure U.S. Air Force base where it is said that the government takes particular interest in examining alien technology to further its own capabilities. These claims are nothing new, but the flames were fanned in 2014 when Boyd Bushman, a retired Area 51 engineer, talked shop. He also happened to be dying, which could be why he suddenly became so generous with the details. In his interview, he described alien life forms within the base, how he reverse engineered spaceships, and even claimed that alien life forms are employed by the US government. At number 8, we have Martin Luther King's assassination was a government plot. Arguments about the ultimate death of civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. have abounded for decades. He died in 1968 due to gunshot wounds, allegedly delivered by James Earl Ray. White supremacist factions loudly voiced and demonstrated their opposition to MLK's ideals, but many conspiracy theorists hold that Ray was actually a scapegoat in a conspiracy mounted by the FBI, the CIA, and the Mafia because of King's opposition to the Vietnam War. In other words, he was trying to mess up their plan, and they killed him. Alright, awesome tubers, at number 7, we have chemtrails are initially poisoning the American people, they're intentionally poisoning the American people, which I somewhat believe in chemtrails. Let me know if you believe in chemtrails, awesome tubers, in the comments. The contrails made by airplane exhaust are thought by some conspiracy theorists to actually be trails of chemical agents assigned to harm people. Crop dusting used small airplanes to deliver pesticides to protect valuable crops. In recent decades, chemtrails have caused quite a stink among conspiracy theorists who believe that the certain airplanes are leaving behind more than we bargained for. Specifically, we're talking about trails of biological and or chemical agents designed to harm people who are unlucky enough to be in the way. Scientists have repeatedly explained that these trails are nothing more than vapor trails caused by normal reactions in aircraft engine exhaust. But others would disagree, like me. And at number 6, which I do not agree with this one, awesome tubers, but some of you might, vaccines do more harm than good. Vaccine skepticism is nothing new. This 1802 cartoon depicts public fears about being inoculated with cowpox in order to be immune to smallpox. But however, awesome tubers, I do not trust the flu shot. Do not get the flu shot because it will kill you. Anyways, with that being said, the anti-vaccine movement picked up steam in the late 90s when a now widely discredited study was published in The Lancet claimed a significant link between autism rates and childhood vaccinations. Back then, few people were freaking out about diseases like measles, polio, etc., because for the most part, they had ceased to exist in the developed world. Conspiracy theorists say that vaccines remain dangerous. The government is in on it, with pharmaceutical industry providing funding and maintaining these immunizations with the intention of turning a tidy profit and other nefarious goals, which I agree. The pharmaceutical company is in it for the money. They're not in it to heal you, awesome tubers. So just remember that. At number 5, we had the CIA created AIDS to wipe out gays and blacks. We now know that HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, the source of the deadly disease AIDS, is contracted most often by sexual conduct or drug use. But in the 1980s, there were fears that you could get HIV simply by touching an infected patient or even sharing a toilet seat, since the virus appeared to affect certain groups more than others. Gay men and minority groups such as African Americans, conspiracy theorists began to ponder the possibility that AIDS was engineered by the CIA in the effort to reduce these populations. So if you're black or gay, watch out. At number 4, the moon landing was faked, which I don't really agree with this one. Let me know what you think, awesome tubers, if you think we actually landed on the moon or if it was staged. In regard to Neil Armstrong's 1969 walk on the moon, it was certainly one small step for a man and the launch of one giant conspiracy theory for cynics everywhere. Biology, every moon involved shebang was fabricated in an attempt to win the space race. Among the evidence, the flag waved. Let's take the most popular argument against the credibility of the moon landing, the apparent waving of the American flag, which, as critics are quick to point out, can't happen in a windless vacuum environment. Scientists offer 2 explanations for this phenomenon. First, the astronaut had to twist the flagpole to secure it into the moon's surface. Anyone who's ever endeavored to such up a beach umbrella knows that requires significant movement. Second, inertia from when the astronaut released his hold on the flag kept it moving. But many conspiracy theorists think that the moon landing was staged. Number 3, we have FDR knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. Japan landed a devastating attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, but there's no proof that the U.S. government knew of this in advance. Long before 9/11, the deadly Japanese bomb attacks on Pearl Harbor rocked a nation that had grown accustomed to being left alone, thanks to sheer geography and military capabilities. The U.S. had largely pledged to stay out of the way of Europe's ongoing carnage during World War II. On December 7, 1941, however, the death of 2,400 U.S. troops at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii caused President Franklin D. Roosevelt to band together with the Allied forces to take down Germany. Many conspiracy theorists think he had advance notice to this day. Number 2, we have FEMA concentrated camps will imprison anti-government activists. A photo similar to this of one of a North Korean prison camp was doctored and used as proof of FEMA concentration camps. People dealing with natural disasters in the U.S. are pointed in the direction of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, otherwise known as FEMA, which was created to help citizens through dicey situations like tornado damage, flooding, fires, and the like. Apparently, the agency has sinister Nazi ulterior motives, if you believe conspiracy theorists. They believe they're going to round us all up and put us into camps, just like the Nazis did. before we get to number one, awesome tubers, I just would like to say, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and join the awesome tuber army. We're at 50 now, and thank you so much. I'm happy that we have made it to 50 subscribers. Now, with that being said, number one, the New World Order is bent on global domination. The New World Order, NOW, conspiracy theory is based on the belief that one giant mega-government will eventually take over rule of the entire world in a non-so-pleasant fashion. A number of devious organizations such as the Illuminati, the United Nations, NATO, the World Bank, and the Bilderberg Group are reportedly involved in implanting a worldwide change to a single government system characterized by militarized and total corporate control, with no middle class, only rulers and servants. While you could cite many reasons as to why the NWO does not exist, let's use just one, The Nature of Power, in a book called Who Rules America. Sociology professor G. William Domhoff made the following arguments for why one world government conspiracy doesn't work. It doesn't fit what we know of power. For instance, it assumes that rich capitalists would rather rule the world than just make money. But let's be honest, awesome tubers, we all know that the very rich capitalist people up top do not care about us. They only care to further their wealth. And it is what they want you to think. This article is trying to get you to think otherwise, but do not trust the 1%, awesome tubers. And this has been the top 10 U.S. government conspiracy theories, and I hope you have enjoyed